Okay guys, welcome back to what should be our final episode of this ChatGPT generated code game. So we're currently creating the game called Pong, where you have two paddles on either side of the board or the game, and then what you have to do is you have to try and move them up and down to stop the ball going behind your paddle into the out of bounds zone, which if it does, it will reward your opponent with a point. So in today's video we need to go and finish off the game by repositioning the ball in the center of the screen, but also adding some velocity onto the ball so that when the ball does go into the out of bounds zones, the game can continue. And now that I think of it, we might not get this game done today because we still need to add in a way for the game to actually end. And who knows how long that's going to take, but let's dive straight into the game and see what we can do. So the first things first is we need to go into our out of bounds zone here, and we need to create, well, we don't really need to create it because we already have a reference to our ball over here. So I'm thinking, can we pass our ball into, actually, you know what we're going to do? We are going to go and do this. Let's go to ChatGPT and say, instantiate the ball into the scene before resetting the position. Let's see what that does. So it should really only add one line of code, which should be somewhere between these two lines that instantiates the ball into the scene and then goes and resets the ball. So let's see what it comes up with. Ball prefab, which we've got. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to go and create a prefab out of a ball. So project, in our project here, we can go and create a new folder called prefabs. And then we'll open that up, and then we can drag our ball into there. So now that is a prefab. So if we look on our out of bounds zones here, we do have our ball as a prefab on both of them. Okay. So let's head back to our ChatGPT and see. So ball. Okay, so let's see what it's doing. Ball instance is equal to instantiate. Yeah, okay, so instantiating the ball using the ball prefab with the position and the identity. Okay, and then it's going Pong ball is equal to ball instance component, which is smart. We don't need to do that because the ball's already in the scene. I don't think we need to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this line of code here, and then I am going to copy that into here. So we'll paste that in there, and then we will paste, or rather, let's go and say this just needs to be ball. And really, we only really need to do this, I think. So let's copy that, and then we'll just paste that there because we just want to instantiate it straight into the scene. So let's go and save that and jump back into the editor and see what we get. So now that our ball should get instantiated into the scene, we should hopefully see a moving ball. So here's our ball, but it's not moving. Where is it? So our ball is over here. Okay, so let's do this. Let us go and say, reset ball. Okay, are we calling that method Pong ball dot reset? Okay. So I feel like we're not really picking up that the new ball is in the scene. So we need to figure out how to do that. So because it's not really resetting the position. So let's just do this quickly. I'm going to go here and say debug.log, and then I'm going to say new ball. Save that, and then just so that we can see if that method is actually being called, we need to go and then figure out why the ball is not actually being repositioned. So we can play the game again and let the ball jump out of. Okay, so it is being called because you can see new ball is being printed out. So I'll see. Okay, so there is a ball, so it's always getting instantiated over there, which really we wanted to get instantiated over there. So transform.position is equal to the starting position. So let's see, starting position. Okay, so that's private. I am going to set this to be public quickly just so I can see what it is. And then in our game here, we should come up in our inspector when it loads eventually. It's taking a while. So there's our starting position, which is at 0. Okay, well, let's go and do this. So the ball starting position is at 0 and 0, which is not. Let's go and put that back to 0. So now it is. So let's have a look and see. Starting position is equal to transform.position. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just to test that this is actually working, I'm going to go and change the position quickly, because this method that records the starting position is only called when the game starts. So as soon as the game starts, this x value of 0 should change to 1. So let's go and see if that works. So that does work. So cool. So that works. So now let's go and say ball clone. So x is equal to 1, but it's not. X is equal to minus 8.0. So that is not working. Well, it is working, but it's not setting the position. Okay, so transform.position is equal to starting position. Okay, so we need to figure out why this is not really working properly. So I feel like I have an idea. I just don't know the best solution for it. So what we have to do is try and figure out how to, when the ball gets destroyed, we need to figure out how to go and position it back into the center. So, I mean, it should be simple. Let's go into here and say, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try and do this. So let's go into our Pong ball here. And what we can do is we can change this here to public. We can get rid of this, and we'll not get rid of it, but we will relocate it into our out of bounds zone. So we can go and paste it over here, and then this should just be, we can just call that like that. So here we can go and say ball. Actually, no, let's go and say, well, let's go back to ChatGPT, because we need to go and say ball instance. Or rather, let's go and copy all of this and see if it works the way they did it. So, or the way ChatGPT did it. So we'll copy that and paste that there. But this, we also need to copy that reference. So we'll go into here and copy this. Put that over there. So that should be fine. So this just needs to, oh, let's just copy that and replace the name. So that should be fine. So then we can copy that and replace that with that. And then we can go and say ball instance dot transform dot position is equal to the Pong ball dot starting position. I think that will work. And then we can go and say, I don't think we need that, so we'll get rid of that for now. And then what we can also do, I think we can go and say is Pong ball dot add velocity. So we'll save that. And then this just needs to be not that. That needs to be ball prefab. No. Yeah. Ball prefab. So we'll save that. And then let's go and see if this works. But I can tell you now that it's not going to work because, I mean, why would it work first time? The day something works the first time is a miracle. So let's go and see. Press play, and now we'll let that move. But okay, so we have some errors. So ball prefab has not been assigned. Okay, so because we changed the name, we need to go and drag that back into there. I think that's the same for all of them. Okay, so that should be fine now. Let's go and see if it works now. Okay, so it does work. So what's the next error? Out of bounds. Okay, of course it's not going to work. So let's see. What we also need to do now is say reset ball Pong ball dot no, what is it? Out of bounds? Yeah, it's on the out of bounds zone. So we can just add one line of code here, I think, and say ball prefab is equal to, let's go and add a tag onto our ball just to try something. So the reason why I'm not actually using ChatGPT here to do this is because it will take too long. And for the small little debugging process, we will do it ourselves. But when we want to generate like a lot of code to actually do something, we will use ChatGPT. Otherwise, we'll just be typing sentences after sentences to try and get it to work. So here we'll go and say ball. And then on our ball, we can go ahead and add that tag onto it. Save that. And then in our start method here, we can go and say ball prefab is equal to find object. Actually, we can go and say game object dot find object with tag. I think it's like that, ball. So we'll save that. And then because I think we're doing that, we can go and say change that to private. So because we go at the start of the game, when we go and look for any game object that has a ball tag on it and assign it to the actual ball, to assign it to the out of bounds script as a ball prefab, we should no longer have to drag and drop that in. So that works. No reference exception. Okay, so out of bounds. Okay, so it's still not picking up the ball. Line 48, which is over here. Reset ball. What does it say? Object reference not set to an instance of an object dot add velocity. Pong ball dot add velocity. Okay. Let's go and see what's happening. Add velocity. Okay. Actually, you know what I'm going to do in here? I'm going to go and replace that with a public, just so we can go and see if it is actually being assigned or not. Because if it's not, then we know what the issue is. So let us go and press play, and then we can see what's happening. So play it, and then out of bounds. So it does. There's our ball. Okay, so now that's been destroyed. It is actually not. That's why it's not moving, because there's nothing in here for it to move or to add velocity to. So you need to try and figure out how to get it back into there. So on our ball, maybe this is why. So let's go and say overrides apply all, and then let's just try that quick. Okay, so that's not working. Okay, so we need to try and figure that out. So get component Pong ball. Okay, so we've got that off of it. So let's see. The problem is just okay. So first of all, you need to ignore the fact that this game is a complete mess. The code is just everywhere. If we weren't using ChatGPT and doing it ourselves, we probably would have split this up into a global class and split out the instantiation of the ball into its separate own class and not have everything all mixed up into one class, because this is just terrible coding. But for this game, we will leave it how it is. So we need to try and figure out how to assign the missing object, which is our ball, whenever it gets destroyed. So after it gets destroyed here, we go and instantiate a ball, which is what this line does. Then this line goes and gets our Pong ball script off of our Pong ball and assigns it to our Pong ball script variable over here, which is fine. Do we need that though? And then after that we go and reset the ball. So ball instance dot transform dot position is equal to, which is doing, that's what it's doing. The problem is this line over here, it's not adding the velocity, because, which is weird, because if it's resetting, actually hold on, Pong ball dot add velocity, okay. Maybe we need to do, or at least reference, hold on, let's go and see something quick. So if we go to our game here, let's go play it and see what's happening. When it eventually loads, that'll be great. So play the game, and then when this gets destroyed, we have a new clone of a ball here. So let's see what's on it. We have no script, that's why. So it's not assigning the script to it, or it's disabling it. That's weird. So let's see, where's this? And also it's not, that's weird. Okay, well I mean that's kind of good, because not only that, it's disabling everything. Huh. That is very weird. So we need to figure out why it's doing that. Very interesting. So actually I'm going to do this. So let's see that. Okay, so what I'm going to pause it quickly and then see. So everything on the script, or everything on our new clone ball, is disabled. So that we can enable, that we can also enable, and that we can also enable. So now that we have all of that, we should see that the game does play correctly again. So you can see that all works. The only problem is that okay, so we need to try and figure out why that is, why it's disabling. Whenever we instantiate a ball, why it's disabling all the components that is on it. So that is a challenge for another episode, so we'll do that in the next episode. But for today, I think that's pretty much it, because we are coming up on 20 minutes, and I like to keep these videos kind of short-ish. And also I don't know how to fix that, so I'll go back and do some research into that, because I've never actually come across that error before, but that's very weird. Something we also need to figure out is how to end the game. So whenever I think we're going to go up to a 11-point system. So whenever one of the players reaches 11 points, we will go ahead and award that player with the win. And then obviously we want the game to be able to be played again, so we'll probably go and add in some sort of button to go and relaunch or restart the game from scratch. So that is going to be what we are going to be doing in the next episode, whether that is in a few days, I think, or maybe in longer, because we might go back to our Slapstacker game if we can figure that out. But that's pretty much it for today, so thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.